Coach Tinko. Gentlemen, congratulations. I'll start with Justin. Justin, one of the contributing factors of this win is that you guys were able to contain Quincy Miller. He only had 16 points. What were you and your teammates able to do to successfully limit his numbers?
Well, first you gotta thank Coach for the game plan. He came up with a great game plan, and then individually, Al John and Jamie, they did a great job on him. As being a committed defender, as Coach, he said in the game plan and over the past couple of days of practice. But you just gotta give them guys a lot of credit. They did a great job, and we just had their backs.
Justin, I know we still have the PBA this conference at hand, but I have to ask about your recent naturalization. Congratulations with that. How do you feel about the possibility and eventually playing with some of your teammates and also having Coach Tim Combe and the coaching staff, but this time playing on a bigger stage and representing the Philippine flag in February?
I just feel blessed and honored, to be in this position. Um, just want to thank, everybody who was involved in helping me get to this point. But I feel excited. I can't wait to represent the Philippines in whatever tournament or Givas window it could be in. I just can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for the fans. I know they've been a lot of Never fans been wanting me to play for the national team. So just all around, just excited.
Coach Tim, with this win, you still have a chance for that twice speed advantage, but unfortunately, it's not in your hands anymore. I'd like to ask your thoughts on that situation and how do you plan to prepare for the playoffs, knowing that where you land is still uncertain?
Well, we're going to, sorry, Mark and Rafi and all the guys I used to coach over, we're going to be cheering madly against you on Friday. Again, it's out of our control. We're not going to worry too much about it. 2 and 3, we prefer 2, but we're okay at 3. I'm just glad we didn't slip down to 7 or 8, and have to play a Bay Area or someone like that twice to beat. So right now, you're right. It's difficult to prepare because we don't know exactly where we are or who we play yet, and we don't even know when we play yet. So we have to wait and see what happens with all the other teams. But we do know we're the number 2 or 3, so we'll try to figure out, put it down on paper, try to figure out where everybody is, and try to pick out the most likely guys to prepare for and start preparing for them. Again, it's out of our hands. Coach Yang has always come up with great games, so we're going to be cheering for Coach Yang. This probably the only time in my whole life I will, but except when he was with the national team. But yeah, so coach is, because he's such a huge rival. So, but we'll be wishing him well on Friday.
Coach, just a quick update on North Pinto, his status.
Well, we just got word today that he could be out possibly 3 weeks before he can get back on the court. So you're talking about 3 weeks, and you're talking about maybe another week to get him prepared. That's if the rehab goes the right way, as the doctors expect. I know Nards, he could very easily limit that number of weeks. He could come back sooner because he's such an incredible worker and he has such a high tolerance of pain. But we are prepared to play without him for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And tough break for him because he is key to a lot of our defensive scheming. And he's really one of our best, probably our best backcourt defender. And so it's certainly going to hurt us going into the playoffs when you're playing against guys like, Paulie or Bullock or, all these great guards. Not having them around is definitely hurtful.
And now we open the floor to questions to the media.
What was specifically
Justin first, anybody? Okay. It's a grade 2 ankle sprain where he came down and he has some loose cartilage in the ankle, but from the MRI. But we understand that could be from an old injury and not necessarily from the new injury. So, but no surgery, which is great, and the ligaments seem to be intact. So it's just a matter of a piece of bone or cartilage that's floating in there, and that might take care of much later in his career. But right now, it's just really about getting the strength back, and getting the swelling down, and getting the strength back, and then he's going to be in a boot for about 2 weeks, I think. 2 to 3 weeks he'll be in a boot, a walking boot.
How has been the process, going back to the naturalization, how has been the process for you, taking time to go to Congress, to Senate, maybe waiting for
Yeah.
the hearing?
Yeah. Just very anxious, for everything to get done and approved. I would say every hearing I probably was so nervous, but a lot of important people. But just excited, to be in a position and really just trying to enjoy every moment. I know it's a rare moment, to happen here. So just excited, just trying to enjoy every moment.
He never missed a moment at practice either. So I mean, he was going there, coming back. He didn't take any days off. So certainly a sacrifice for him, and trying to keep your energy level up and doing all these things at once and focus. It's quite a process. And I think if you haven't been through that, you don't really know what it's like. But here Justin is sitting here being player of the game despite doing all that. So awesome.
Lives the practice in Barang, coach.
He brought the barong to last practice. He came in with his barong and his slacks and the whole work. That was just yesterday, right?
Yes.
That was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. He had to come to practice and bring his clothes so he could change and go straight to the batasan. So, yeah, it's a whirlwind for him right now. Hopefully, it'll settle down as we go into the playoffs.
Justin, usually when it's a playoffs, it's your time. This your thoughts on this latest playoff change you're going to?
Yeah, in the playoffs, you definitely want to, step your game up, and the whole conference, you try to work until you get into a rhythm, and when the playoffs come, you want to be in your best shape and probably your best rhythm. I think we've been doing a good job as a team, collectively, just trying to get better each and every day. Coach has been on us and throwing new things at us. But I think we've been growing and we've been, really getting into a good rhythm. Especially we had that 5-game winning streak and we took a loss, but sometimes you lose and you can gain a lot out of a loss. So I think we did, and hopefully we can keep a good rhythm and we be at the top of our game in the playoffs.
Coach, did you expect this game to be that lopsided?
Was it that lopsided? I think it was at the end. It didn't feel lopsided throughout the game. I mean, I was pleased that we were keeping the lead for the most part, but they made a couple of runs at us. Got it down to 3 or 5 points a couple of times, but I think it came down to what your first question was about the way we handled Miller. I mean, we really, Jamie and Aljon just did a really great job of scheming him and keeping him uncomfortable and never letting him get a rhythm. Normally he comes out and hits 4 or 5 or 6 3-pointers in a game, and they were just really focused on not letting him do that tonight. So that took, I think, a lot of the steam out of the other team, not being able to rely on what they normally get from the import.
Coach, your likely opponent, 75% chance is Northport, either less than 3 or twice a week. That's a team that hasn't beaten you in the last 8 times.
Don't tell us that, please. Those are stats we don't need to know. Because there's always a first time. Thanks, Just. Sorry. There's always a first time, and you have the odds, and eventually, the odds will go in their favor. We had a tough time against them last game, and right until the early part of the fourth quarter, we were able to do a little bit of a breakaway. But they're a talented team. They're a tough matchup, particularly for us, because we like to play big, and they like to play small and quick and spread the floor. So, I mean, obviously we prefer not to play San Miguel because they are on a roll and they're looking really good, and Jumar's back and Terrence is back, and low to those guys who have to play San Miguel in the first round. That's one of the reasons we wanted to win tonight, because we knew we wouldn't have to play them in that first round.
And you have a lot of former players at Northport.
Yes, and they certainly get motivated when they play us. Luckily we got a couple Northport players too, in Stanley and Jamie, so they get motivated as well. So hopefully that kind of balances it all out.
Coach, one of the better games of LA in this conference also.
Yeah, we've been trying to pretty much conserve LA through the whole conference. You know, he's a big time playoff player, and we've been trying to preserve his minutes. We've been trying to keep him down to around under 25 minutes a game, and you know we've been able to do that because of the depth that we've had on our team. But we know come playoff time, you know, he's going to step up his game, and we want him to have that energy for the game. So this is the right time for him to start stepping up and starting to play more minutes right here in this game and going into the playoffs. You know, we rely so much on his leadership, and we rely so much on his execution. He just understands the offense better than anybody else. So when he's out there, we're executing better than when he's not.
All right, and that's it for our post-game press conference. Thank you so much, Coach
Thank
Tim.
you.